first topic of today, which is going to be Mr. Turki Alalshikh, the Riyadh card from last night. We're going to get into all the Terence Crawford stuff. I believe that this is going to be a heavily influenced or heavily Terence Crawford influenced show today. I know people are going to want to talk about Bud. We're going to want to talk about the things that are currently out there. But I wanted to start off with this right here, Jay. Think about it. So we have been, number one, we just started off the show talking about the fact that we had, very little sleep last night. You went to bed around 2 o'clock. I went to bed around 3 o'clock. And, man, I wasn't feeling that, right? I think Turki Alalshikh has some work to do in terms of presentation of what it is that he's doing. I like where PBC has gone in terms of not having all that fluff in between fights, because most people are there. They're there to see the fights. We want to see the fights. I think there are a number of fights. The card was so long. Is it really necessary to have so many fights on one card? I think he should focus more on quality over quantity. I really enjoyed the Bakoli fight versus Big Baby. The Morrell fight was kind of who else? The Pitbull fight, that was a pretty good one. It was a pretty good fight. And I thought Terence Crawford fight was a pretty good fight. The concert I could have done without, to be quite honest with you. I'm not an Eminem fan, so I'm not going to be interested in watching it. And to be quite honest with you, and I know people are going to try to say that this is hate, but it's not. Every time they panned over that arena, you could tell that the seats weren't full. They weren't. And now we're starting to hear things come out from people on social media, including Steve Kim, who said that during the main event, people were actually leaving during the main event. So that would tell me one or two things. Either the main event was boring, which I don't believe that was the case, because Crawford is not a boring fighter. Or there were a lot of people there simply to see Eminem, and once that Eminem portion was over with, they left. Or let me add a third. The card was so damn long that people were tired of being there and they decided to leave. Now, personally, I don't believe if you got a tremendous main event that people would leave regardless. If you're already there, you're just going to stick around and see the main event because it's such a dope fight. You're going to want to see it. But according to Steve Kim, this is not coming from Greg. We weren't there. I know Bandub say he was in the building. We weren't there. I hope Bandub called in today. We weren't there. But this is coming from Steve Kim that people were leaving during the main event. So please don't come in the comment section talking about we hating on Terence Crawford. This is what Steve Kim is reporting, and there's been other things out there on social media bubbling as well. Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I thought it was entirely too long. To some of Steve Kim's point, it's like quality over quantity. A lot of those fights, the Ruiz Big Baby Miller fight, we could have done without that fight. It's like a glorified sparring match. They're friends.
Oh yeah,
they really don't do anything but malintent when they're out there. Now of course the Ryu Pitbull Cruz, good fight. Bakoli and Jared Anderson, that turned out to be a good fight. Seeing Andy Cruz fight, I believe it was Moran, that was a decent scrap early on, but it was super early, so a lot of people really didn't see it unless you pulled in early on. And I watched it from like the cards before. I watched even Steven Nelson fight, and that was around like 4. So that's a long event. And you kind of water it down a little bit when you just have so many fights, especially all the fights weren't like top-notch fight. Now, if they had Virgil Ortiz and Tim Tszyu still on that card, that would have been different. I would have been okay with that being on there. But to your point, what a lot of people saying in the chat, a lot of people, I didn't like the them adding a concert to it. Dropping it right before the Bud fight. It was just like a, I don't know. It's like he was just reaching. They're just reaching for it. So I didn't like that part on it. So he got some work to do. First card in the U.S. We'll see what he does, to shorten it and eliminate all the chatter between the fights. Just stop, eliminate that. Get it going. You can have a little bit, promote the new fight, the next fight card you got coming up, whatnot. But all the extra chatter, it was just too much.
Yeah, I forgot about that Big Baby Miller and Andy Ruiz fight. That was pretty bad, man. You would agree with that, right? That was pretty bad. And I personally thought Big Baby Miller won that fight, but honestly, to your point, there was not a lot of ill intent, or I won't say that there wasn't ill intent, but I think maybe there was a lack of ability to throw shots that had ill intent. Both men looked heavy. Both men looked still out of shape, even with Big
They didn't
Baby
look heavy, they
supposedly.
were.
Huh?
They didn't look heavy, they were. That was down to
Yeah.
600 pounds.
Yeah. Big Baby still, even losing all that weight, he still looked real heavy. So, like you got to get. I'm all for what Turki Alalshikh is trying to do. I like the fact that he's bringing together the promoters. But again, I'm looking at certain aspects of things and I'm saying, how is this much different than what we currently have? It's just that the one good thing about Turki Alalshikh, if he can continue to do this, is that he's bringing together all of the different promoters, and therefore we're getting some of the fights that we want to see. But as far as his ability to influence, that can become a concern because he has a partnership with Golden Boy Promotion. He has a partnership with Top Rank. That's good. He doesn't have a partnership yet with PBC. Maybe they're not heading in that direction. But he also has a partnership with the WBA. He has a partnership with the WBC, which means he now has influence over the sanctioning bodies and how they operate. So to me, that's no different from what we've seen with past promoters. And he's going to position certain fighters to get the opportunities that they want and maybe freeze out other fighters. And we're going to talk about that probably in a video later that, that just popped into my mind, that I think that's a potential topic that we need to discuss with some of the things that we are seeing going on, specifically with conversations between he and Shakur Stevenson and Eddie Hearns talking and speaking to Zepeda, all those things we're going to cover at some point. But they need to change their format, Jay. I mean, it's too much. Like, I was tired as hell last night, and as you can see by all these grays in my face, although I am incredibly cute, I am not in my 20s anymore. You understand me? So it is what it is, Jay. What else you got, fam? Anything else you want to share?
You not. I'm about like I hear what you just said. I'm gonna just let that go.
Yeah, you should let it go, because I don't need you commenting on how cute and sexy I am. But go ahead.
I never seen comment on ain't nothing cute.
Continue.
Goodness gracious, this guy. What's in that damn cup? Calling yourself cute.
Oh, you want to see it? Ain't nothing but some energy drink. Brother can't have no energy drink. Go ahead, man. Finish up.
And that's cause you said cute. God dang it, man. But nah, I didn't with Turkey last night, man. It was just they were just kissing his ass so much. Kissing his ass so much for everything. It's like, he got out, honorary Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame, whatever it was. I'm like, chill. We all want to see the fight, but y'all saying Turkey's giving us a fight we want to see. No one wanted to see that Ruiz versus Big Baby Miller fight. No one asked to see that. And the fight we've been asking for was a Tank, Shakur. He's not even talking about that. He's talking about Shakur or somebody else. He's also not talking about a David Benavidez and Canelo. So don't say he's giving us all the fights that we want to see, because that's not necessarily true.
Yep, I don't disagree with that. And you brought out an interesting point. The fact that they gave him an award at this juncture makes no sense. So I'm concerned about him in that regards. I think he may end up having too much influence that could be detrimental to the sport.